In a couple more days, Warframe is coming to the Nintendo Switch. This is a free-to-play game. It's actually gone through a lot of changes since it first came out. I don't play it, but I know a lot of people who really, really enjoy it. One of them is one of our editors, Kodiak Moonwolf, who is currently writing an article about it for the website runjumpstomp.com. So make sure that you go bookmark that site so you can check out his article. But this is via Nintendo Soup. They're talking about basically information about the Nintendo Switch version of the game, which is due out on the 19th or the 20th, depending on where you live. And this game is bringing 5 years worth of content. So all the stuff that came from the very beginning of the game to now is all coming to the Nintendo Switch at launch. And that's going to be lots and lots for you to do if you are a fan of Warframe. I played it a little bit when it first came out. I didn't like it, and I haven't gone back to it, but I've heard that it's changed incredibly since then into almost like a completely different game. So what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the Switch-specific stuff. The Switch-specific stuff like controllers, motion control, how chat's going to work, how crossplay is going to work. So let's start tackling all of these things. This is via Nintendo Soup. They got a quote from the developer who I can't remember who it is. I'm sure somebody in chat will tell me here in a second. All right. So controllers, motion control. Warframe will support controls and Nintendo Switch Pro controllers at launch. Tenno can use the classic LR Joy-Con controllers. Number one, attached to the Nintendo Switch console. 2, attached to the Switch grip or detached controller. So you can use the Joy-Cons in any configuration you want. You can have them docked to the device itself, which it's a first-person kind of action game, and I probably wouldn't recommend that because that right stick is not in a good position for that. Or you can use it in the Switch grip again for a first-person game. I personally would avoid that. And then you can play it where you don't have them attached to anything. You're just holding one in each hand, which I actually find to be pretty comfortable as long as you don't use these things. I can't remember what the straps for the Joy-Cons. If you don't use these, it's pretty damn comfortable to just hold one in each hand. Again, for this kind of game, I don't really think the Joy-Cons are where you want to go. So you definitely want to go with the Pro controller if you have access to one. That being said, motion control functionality would alleviate some of my trepidation with using the Joy-Cons. So what do they say about that? They say motion control functionality is available at launch. So all controls, mining, shooting, fishing, etc., are motion controlled enabled. Okay. That's really, really good news for the people who are stuck on Joy-Cons. If you've got a Pro controller, then you might want to take it or leave it. I also know people who like the Joy-Cons for shooting games and hate motion control. So, your mileage may vary. Let's talk about chat. They said Warframe provides built-in voice chat, and this is surprising, but it does not require the Nintendo Switch Online app. So that means, just like on Fortnite, if you are, man, I'm talking about Fortnite a lot today. Just like on Fortnite, if you want to talk to people, you do not have to use Nintendo's app. I wonder if this is going to be a trend that we see where third-party developers put in their own voice chat. I mean, it would be good for them to do so, but they put in their own voice chat and the app just ends up for Nintendo games. I wonder if that's going to be a trend that we continue to see, and it slowly makes the app less and less relevant over time. Although, to be fair, it's pretty irrelevant right now, at least in my circle of friends. I don't know anybody that really uses it all that much. Blizzard, Diablo, if these guys can do this, and Epic Games can do this, why don't you have voice chat in your game? I mean, it's just something I'm saying. It's just an idea. Come on, Blizzard. I think it's a huge misstep that they didn't include it. Let's move on. Crossplay. Digital Extremes, who is the company that made it, so there's your answer to my question from earlier. Digital Streams loves the idea of crossplay, but currently Warframe does not support it. So you're not going to have crossplay, and my guess is you're not going to have cross progression either. However, you will have the opportunity to migrate your accounts from one platform to the other. They said, just like with the PS4 and Xbox One accounts, Digital Extremes will permit players to migrate their PC account to the Nintendo Switch account. This will happen during a limited time frame from day one launch to a future date, which is to be determined. All right. I think it's good that they're allowing you to migrate your character, your account over to the Switch if you would prefer to play on the Switch instead of the PC. My problem with this, and this is a big sticking point for me, is the fact that it is a limited time frame. That really ticks me off. There's no reason to have this be a limited time frame thing. There's really no reason for this. And it's insulting to me as a consumer for them to try and tell me that there's any reason other than trying to entice people to do it as fast as possible so that they can get it done with. There's no reason for account migration to be a limited time thing, and it makes me mad. So I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Storage. It says, as a games as a service title with 5 years worth of content, players can download Warframe straight to their system. We recommend a 32 or 64 gigabyte SD card as we plan to bring more content in the future. So they're saying, look, it's going to take up a lot of room. And that's understandable. I've always been of the mind that the Switch shipping with only 32 gigabytes of storage on it by default is okay, because that allowed Nintendo to keep the price down and we could pay what we want for more storage. As far as whether or not this game, they don't say right here exactly how much room it's going to take up, but they're recommending 32 or 64 gigabyte SD card. I would recommend much higher than that. I have a 128. I think that's kind of the sweet spot for now as far as price and storage capacity. I would like to get a bigger one, but they're not cheap enough yet. And at some point, if they do become cheap enough, I will jump on that and buy a bigger one. And then I don't know what I would do with my extra 128 one. Let's take a look at what chat is saying here. Kodiak Moonwolf says 12 gigs is the size at launch according to the eShop. I see a lot of games at about 12 gigs or 15, 10, somewhere around there on the eShop. And as long as you don't keep every single game on your Switch, like I used to do that, but now I've deleted games that I haven't played or archived games that I haven't played in a while. I think 12 gigabytes for a game is reasonable. I think it's kind of lame that they didn't say right here how much room it was going to take up. Let's see here. Always online. It says Warframe is an always online game, meaning it requires an online connection to play. That's something that a lot of people may not know. Yeah, it's a free-to-play game, but keep in mind the Switch is portable and it's not always where you have Wi-Fi. So unless you can use your phone to jump onto the internet, then you might want to pass on this on the Nintendo Switch. Just something to keep in mind. Finally, they just said, have fun, invite friends, and they'll see you. 10-0, which I don't know what 10-0 means, but sure. So are you excited for Warframe coming to the Switch? For me, I don't really care. Like, it doesn't affect me. I'm not going to start playing the game. It is a free-to-play game, so maybe I'll check it out a little bit, and maybe I'll completely be turned around, but I've got so much to play right now, I don't know if I have time for Warframe, especially with Smash right around the corner. I feel like anything that comes out in the next 3 weeks, it's going to be me saying, well, it's too bad that Smash is coming right around the corner, because it's going to be kind of dried up, especially with the idea that they don't have crossplay with this. If they had crossplay, then when a billion people stop playing this to go play Smash, the people who still want to play it on the Switch will still have people to play with because of other platforms. But because Digital Extremes isn't going to put in crossplay for Warframe, that means it's just not like that player pool is going to dry up. That being said, it's a free game, so there's really no reason why you shouldn't check it out and find out if you like it or not.